Well, tonight I got a little bit something different to repair. I was given this microwave because it quit working. They was going to throw it away, and they know I like to take care of stuff, and thought wanted to see if I could maybe bring it back to life. So here's our Symptom. It's a nice GE microwave. The clock works. We can push buttons here. Fan comes on, but if we try to do anything, cook something, start, nothing happens. It ticks down like something's happening, but no turntable action, no magnetron, nothing's happening. So I don't know, I'm guessing maybe a fuse or a door switch. So I'm gonna tear into it and see what I can track down. All right, well, tip number one, this took me a few minutes to figure this out because of course I got the top off, all the screws on it, no big deal. Of course, everything's unplugged and I need to discharge the capacitor. But I just want to get into this control panel, and I had this loose, it didn't want to come off. And then I finally got behind here looking at the tabs and how it was made. You actually just shove it sideways. Well, hang on, I gotta have two hands, I'll show you. Okay, here's what I mean. There it comes right off. You see those little tabs right there? Focus. So you just have to shift it and it pops off. So if you're having a hard time getting it off, that's why. So now I can get to this screw and get this panel loose. I'm taking these two torque screws out and to get access to those switches. And then I see there's a little schematic down there. Let me get to that so I can look at the schematic and maybe figure out how this thing is powered. Okay, so take that one center screw out there and it lifts up and unlocks. And there we go. Now I have access to my switches. I'll test these, see if that's the problem. It says there's two fuses on this thing. I located one right there. I done pulled it and tested it. It's good. And I gotta try to locate the other second fuse and do a few more tests, see if we can't track down the problem. Well, I don't know yet, but I may have already found the problem. So first thing, I was checking these switches. You can hear it like this switch. You can push on it, get an audible click. Okay, then I went to this switch, good click. And then I went to this one, not much of a click, kind of mushy feeling. So I'm gonna get me a meter on this one and test it, see if we get that lucky. Okay, so I used my voltmeter here. I pushed the button on it and got nothing. So I'm suspecting at least this one switch is bad. So as my test, before I order a switch, I'm going to jumper this momentarily and stick it back together just to see if it works. If it works, then I'll know what I need to get. So you can see I made my little jumper, got it in place, took it back here out of the way so nothing touches. Loosely put this back together, fire it up, and we'll see if anything happens. Alright, test number one. I got some water put in there. Let's see here. There's a beverage button. Let's see what happens. Alright. Yeah, it's working, I guess. It's turning. It's making noise now. Didn't do that before. I'll let this run until it stops, and I'll see if it gets warmed up. Well, it's worked. Ooh, nice hot water. So we now have a working microwave. So instead of going into the trash or landfill, I can fix it up. So let's take it back apart, get the number off the micro switch, and see if we can't track one of those down. We'll go and find out how much it's going to cost to actually fix this thing. So this is simple enough to remove the switch. You got a little plastic tab. You just push on that tab, pull the switch right out. So there should be some numbers on here. There we go. We've got numbers. See, there's no click to it at all. And I'll see if we can't get us a replacement switch. See how much that's going to cost. Oh, one more I was going to point out. This jumper I had to make. Let me unplug that and show you. If you go to make a jumper, I had to trim these down to make them fit because they're a little bit narrower than a standard spade connector. But that worked for me. It's all I needed to do, make a quick jumper to confirm my diagnosis. Now let's go find a switch. So here's all you gotta do. Just get the numbers off the switch. That's JVM1540SN1SS. I just plugged that into Amazon. Right there it is, $4.99 delivered. And I can tell by the picture it's identical. Of course, the numbers matches and everything. So for $5, I'll have a working microwave. And also, I took the model number, looked it up. Here is a very similar version. It's just a little bit newer model. $239. So I will have a $239 microwave repaired for $5. And you can too now. So let me get that switch on the way, and I'll be back in a couple days, and we'll finish this job. Well, it's here. It's here. My China switch is here. My $5 China switch. It arrived. Let's see. See, remember the old switch? Mush, mush. No clicky, clicky. New switch. Clicky, clicky. That's what we want to hear. So, in fact, we know that's the good one. That's the bad one. Let's take it apart and see what we can see. Okay, so here's the inside of the old switch. If you look closely, you can see the points. See how they're burned up? So it would be my guess they started arcing, generated heat, and then the heat lost its spring tension and it lost its clicky effect. So anyway, so we got the new switch. We'll install that. We'll see if we can't boil some water. Okay, I'm working one-handed tonight. Of course, remember we want everything unplugged. Stay away from the capacitor as a warning. And I've got the switch sort of in place. See if I can't, I think it just snaps in pretty easy. There we go, easy peasy. And now we got to get my little wires back in there. Get oriented. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Alright, this ain't working one-handed, is it? Let's try two hands. Okay. Easy enough. Two hands, plug that wire back on, and just kind of get it tucked back in here the way I found it. A couple of screws. Make sure these little tabs are in there. Some stuff can be really strange to get apart sometimes because you don't know, do you shift up, do you shift down, shift sideways, like with this top piece. I got these little notches. I think I mentioned that before. You know, when you first take this off, you don't know, you pry this way, you pry forward, lift up, because it didn't want to come off. I had no idea. You just had to knock it sideways, and it came right out. But, you know, the only way I figured it out when I was looking from the back side, and I seen how it was laid out. Same way with this component here. So it's got its little notches, you know, so when you go to take it off, you just go tugging and pulling on it. It don't want to come off. You take the screw out, you pull straight out, it don't do anything. But if you just push up on it, it comes right off real easy. So sometimes you gotta go a little slow with this stuff or you end up breaking something. So alright, so I've got that in place. Yeah, I don't have any other wires loose hanging around. All looks good. So I need to do a little cleanup. Alright, now I got something out of alignment now. What have I done? Hang on, two hands again. It took two hands. I had to give a little persuasion to get that hole to line up. So I got that done, and I've got my one screw up top, put my other little torque screw down here, and we'll be ready for a test. And if it works good and boil me some water, then I'll finish putting it together. So let's plug her up. Alright, well, we're plugged up. We have a clock. And see if things work here. Okay, that works. Gotta be a little water in there. Before nothing will work. So let's try beverage and see what happens. There we go. It's doing its thing. So I'll let this run for however long it's going to run. Let's see if we can get some hot water. I think we have a winner. Looky here, we got 210 degrees. In fact, my cup started melting and freaking out a little bit. So, good thing I stopped it when I did. So, alright. We definitely have a working microwave now. Now I just got to put it back together. But before I do, I need to make a change. Because I noticed the way this is set up when I turned on the blower vent, it's designed to blow straight up. And I know for the rental properties we have, we don't have anything that where the vent goes up like into the attic, everything. So I'm going to take this loose and rotate it around so I can, and a lot of people may not know this, but mostly microwave, they're designed to blow. You can blow them straight out, you can blow them out the back, or you can blow them out the front. Because they're all, there's a filter in the bottom where the air comes up through. But you can decide which way you want the air to flow, straight up out the back or out the front. So I'm going to take this apart, rotate the fan around so I know it's shooting out the front the way I want it to go. So let's attack that. Okay, so you can see this is a simple enough process. Just took the one screw out, take it up, rotate, sit it down. Okay, now the air will blow out front. If you want it to blow out back, you take it out and if you flip around all the way around and shoot out the back. And you can kind of see how the airflow works. Because see at the bottom of the microwave, down in here, in the very bottom, you got that filter grill, but you can't see it because I got it sitting on a paint bucket. So there, the air is like your steam and stuff coming off your stove when you're cooking. It gets drawn up through here, all the way across the top, into the squirrel cage, either straight out the top, out the back, or straight out front. So there's usually like a little charcoal type of filter in the bottom of them. I'll get access to it here in a minute when I get it off these paint buckets. So I guess we're about ready to button things up and put it back together. See how it looks when it's all done. Okay, well, as I was putting this together, I just had a flashback for my followers that have RVs. And a lot of people may have the Sharp microwave convection oven. Great machine, a lot of RVs have them. And I remember when we first got ours, I noticed with our Winnebago, behind the microwave oven, on the outside wall, there is a square door with a little flap on it, allowing air to exhaust out when you turn on the vent to get the steam and stuff and heat out of the RV and blow it outside. But I noticed with ours, even though we had the door on the sidewall, when I turned on the vent, it just blew it straight out front. So, and what they did from the factory, they had this in the wrong position. They had it positioned blowing out front instead of rotated around where it would shoot it out the back. So I had to take it down and rotate it. And those microwaves are very heavy, so they're quite tricky. I got a video somewhere on my channel. Just search Sharp, you'll see it, where I show how to remove it from the RV and get it down without breaking an arm. All right, let's put the cover on it and finish up. All right, so here's the final result after a $5 investment, maybe an hour of labor. She's ready to go. So now when I have a renter call me and say, hey, my microwave's crapped out, it's not working, if it's something I can't fix, then I can reach into my storage building and grab this, plug it up, and have them going nice and quick, all for the investment of $5. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this little video, maybe learned something. So when you find something that's not working, dig into it, maybe you fix it yourself and keep it out of the landfill. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you. Bye.